the Woolly Man here with a fabulous Christmas story to tell you. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. I was over in Greenville, Christmas shopping, and I try to stay out of Greenville. I'm a country boy, you know, I don't drive too well in them big cities, but I went over there, come across this pet store. Well, I walk in looking around, and I'm really fascinated with birds. I feed birds all the time, on some chickens, you know. I like them little dinosaurs. But anyway, I walked in the shop, and there was 5 bird cages with these little parakeets in them. 4 of them said $4.95, and the 5th one said $395.95. And I'm just standing there in awe trying to figure this thing out. I'm perplexed and puzzled, and the proprietor of the store comes up to me and said, "Filler, anything I can do for you?" And I said, "Well, you can explain something. Why come them 4 birds is $4.95 and this is $395.95? Well, he said, "Well, that bird is special, very special. He speaks 4 different languages and he sings opera." I said, well, that does sound special. And I got to thinking, looking at that bird, I just had to have that bird. Well, I took it home, and for 2 days all that bird done was stare at me. He just sat there and stared and stared. Never sang a note, never said a word. Well, I'm getting mad, you know. I bought that bird to sing. I go back to that store and I said, "Look, mister, you sold me a bill of goods here. That dang bird won't sing, he won't talk." He said, "Oh, did you buy his little mirror?" I said, "What little mirror?" He said, "Well, he loves to look in his little mirror every morning, and he sings in his little mirror while he grooms himself." I said, well, I bet, and I bought the little mirror. I takes it home, puts it in the cage. Sure enough, he runs over there and looks in his little mirror and he grooms himself. He don't sing a note, he don't say a word. A few more days went by, and dang, something going on here. I went back. "Look, man, I'll demand my money back. He won't sing." He said, "Oh, did you get his little bell?" I said, "What little bell?" "He's got to have this little bell he picks on and he rings it and he sings, and then he runs over and looks in his little mirror." Well, I bet for another $3.95 here to buy this little bell. I put it in his cage, you know, and he runs over there and picks on his little bell, ding, 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 and he runs over the mirror and he grooms himself and don't sing. I said, "Look," a few more days went by, and man, I'm getting mad here. I want my money back. This bird won't do a darn thing. He said, "Oh, did you get his little ladder?" What little ladder? He said he's got this little ladder. He put it up on his porch and he runs up and down it and he goes to the bottom of the cage and he gets his exercise. Well, I sprung for this little ladder. I take it home, I put it in the cage. Sure enough, he picks on his little bell. He runs over and looks himself in the mirror. And he runs up and down that ladder a few times. A couple of days later, he still ain't done a thing. Well, y'all guessed it. I went back to that shop. I said, "Fella, this thing still won't sing for me. I want my money back." He said, "Oh, did you buy his little swing? He likes to swing while he sings." I said, "Okay." So I buy this little swing. I hang it in the cage. The bird runs over and pecks on his little bell. Then he runs over and he looks at himself in the mirror and he's grooming himself, you know. Then he runs up and down the ladder. He run over there and he hopped on that swing. He flops over backwards and he falls in the bottom of the cage. Dead. I went back to this guy. I said, "You sold me a sick bird. He died." The guy said, "Well, tell me what happened." I said, "Well, he went over and picked on his little bill. And he went over and he looked in his little mirror and he run up and down his little staircase there and he ran over and he hopped up on that swing and he just flipped over on his back. And I went running over there to see what in the world happened. And for the first time, you know, he talked. He looked up at me and said, "Mister, don't they sell bird seeds down there at that pet shop?" Ugh, I know y'all will enjoy that. Merry Christmas.